Good morning, Lake Braddock. Today is Tuesday, April 11th.
I'm Caitlin Halloran.
And I'm Grace Haberer.
Welcome to the Morning Brew's April News Show. This month we will be covering a variety of stories from new mental health resources to teacher retention. Let's get the news brewing.
Starting this week, FCPS will be offering additional mental health resources free for all students. Let's take a closer look at this new service.
Around an eighth of students in Fairfax County have reported to be feeling lost and have stopped doing their usual activities. This year, FCPS will offer a free mental health program through Hazel. This service will be available to all FCPS students on April 10th, 2023.
So I think that any resource we can have is going to be beneficial to students. The counseling staff here is stretched pretty thin with the mental health needs of kids, so anything else that we can provide for students I think is going to only be a benefit. I think students having access to, for one, it's being free, so removing that barrier from students, and two, having the ability to do it without having to go to a location, having to be able to do it through telehealth. Is going to make it more accessible to kids. So absolutely, it's going to be a benefit to kids. Any student with any kind of mental health need, if it's something they can do through conversation through the telehealth, I'm sure that will be fine. But if the student were to need more extensive services, I'm confident that they would be able to refer a student if they needed more specific care.
This has been Brian Cho, Kyle Vong, and Olivia Evans on the Morning Brew.
Narcan, a drug used to reverse the effects of an opioid overdose, has recently been made available at schools across Fairfax County. The Morning Brew investigates the impact of this new policy at Lake Braddock.
Among adolescents, fentanyl-involved fatalities are at an all-time high. The Morning Brew is investigating the implications of making Narcan, a treatment for overdose in emergency situations, readily available in all Fairfax County public schools.
So the importance of having Narcan in the school is it is literally a matter of life or death when it comes to an opioid overdose. Narcan is the only thing that will reverse an opioid overdose. So having Narcan easily accessible in the school means that if in the unfortunate event of an opioid overdose happening on campus, it increases the chance of that person surviving. A benefit for administering Narcan in the school would mean that that individual needing Narcan would be referred to my program where it will allow me to be able to open that door of getting that individual into treatment so that they can receive the help and the services that they need.
Since this interview, the FDA has approved Narcan for over-the-counter use for people in need or to be administered in and out of public schools around the country. This has been Michaela, Madison, Ben, and Ishmael signing off with the Morning Brew.
If you've ever seen a snake at Lake Braddock, hopefully it's been in Mr. K's classroom. The Morning Brew slithered into how Mr. K and Miss Keller turned their passion for snakes into a business.
At Lake Braddock, teachers take various approaches to make learning engaging for all students. One of the ways Mr. Khrushchev and Ms. Keller, co-founders of K2C Wildlife Encounters and teachers here at Lake Braddock, implement this is through hands-on learning with wildlife in and outside of the classroom.
So K2C Wildlife Encounters is a business that Mr. Khrushchev and I started during the pandemic. We had already been doing it for years before that. We just weren't official yet. And it's where that we go to people's houses that call and we take the snakes that are on their property and move them somewhere safe.
We've gone from 2 people to 3 to 5 people now. And all of us come from different backgrounds. This is our hobby business, but it seems to be growing now. It also gives us a chance to educate the people, explain why the snake might be there, point out things around their houses, for example, that might be attracting the snakes. So we get to be teachers as well on the job while we're doing this, and plus we have a passion for the animals too. So.
We're all licensed wildlife control officers in our company, which just means there's a curriculum online that we can do that teaches about not just the wildlife in the area, but how to effectively deal with them.
That license, that permit allows me to deal with not just snakes, but all sorts of wildlife. We're getting more calls year after year. We're doing educational programs. We're, for communities, and I use these for educational things with merit badge programs with the park. And there's an opportunity in the classroom to use them as an educational tool, do that sort of so that's how I use it, because that is also part of my background. I think it's sort of a little bit more of an enrichment. We've always been told, hands-on's the best. Kinetic learning, whatever it is always best. It's more meaningful to people, and I agree.
This has been Becca French, Guillermo Fajardo, and Kylie Barkai signing off with the Morning Brew.
Within the past year, over 20 teachers have left Lake Braddock. The Morning Brew examines why teachers may be leaving the school or profession.
Have you noticed that some of your favorite Lake Braddock teachers are gone? In the past 2 years, nearly 20% of Lake Braddock teachers have left, whether it be for retirement, switching schools, or leaving the profession altogether. The Morning Brew took a deeper look on Fairfax County teacher retention and what's driving teachers away.
There are a variety of reasons why teachers might leave the profession. It's just very complicated. I do believe that principals across our county and our central office are working on the general statistics that the teaching profession has become incredibly challenging, and retaining teachers is a challenge. And so I would support any adjustments to the way that we collect data to really dig into those staff that are employed by FCPS that are leaving because the profession has become something that they're not interested in staying engaged in.
The Morning Brew spoke to former Lake Braddock teacher Miss Munns about why it was that she decided to leave the teaching profession.
Burnout is very real. You hear about it all the time. It's a very real phenomena, and it can break you, and I had reached that point. A lot on teachers' plates that a lot of people don't realize. So a large part of that is just there's not enough hours in the day for all the things we're being asked to do. But we're only paid for those hours that we're teaching. So all the other things like the planning and the grading and the meetings and all that kind of stuff, we have just our planning period to do that. And so with team meetings, those were every week. So and you're on multiple teams, so you lost your planning period 2 to 3 times a week. And then you, a lot of times you were pulled into other types of meetings. And so then we couldn't get anything done then, right? And then we're being asked to do this other thing. And we're like, well, when do you want me to do this? So that definitely became very frustrating. A lot of these meetings were not necessary. They were box checking.
In addition to burnout and excessive meetings, Ms. Munn cited stresses such as lack of admin support and lack of teacher pay as reasons for leaving the profession.
This has been Natalie, Grace, and Nyla with the Morning Brew.
Hi, Lake Braddock. Here's the first report on the spring season. Boys soccer is 0-3-1 so far with their most recent game last night against West Potomac. Girls soccer is 4-0. They also played West Potomac last night. Baseball is starting off very strong. They're undefeated with an 11-0 record after their most recent win against Marshall over spring break. Softball is 9-2 so far. Girls lacrosse is starting 2-5 with their next game tonight at West Springfield. Boys lacrosse is 6-1 after the spring break tournament with our next game tonight at home against West Springfield, so come watch if you can. That's all I have for now. Good luck for the rest of the season.
Well, the news is over.
And our cups are empty. See you next time on The Morning Brew.